Like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos from PHN Learn. For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.
Hello everybody, welcome to PHN Technology Private Limited. In today's session, we are going to learn C programming basic features. That is data types, variables, identifiers, keywords. These are some small concepts of C programming languages which you need to know so as to create a proper code. These are some small but very important concepts of C language. If you got these features, that is, if you got this concept, then and then only you can know your program and you can know what you basically are doing in your program. Firstly, let's see what you understand by data types. There is in programming languages there is a concept of data types. But what is this data types and why we use this? For example, I want to print my age. So this is my age. Let's say my age is equal to 20. Okay, my age is equal to 20. Now, in computer language, you need to specify what this 20 is. Computer won't understand what this 20 is. Is it a number? Is it a text? Is it a character? Is it a string or what? See, for example, when you are studying English, from step by step you go. Firstly, you have to study ABCD, then numbers, then small sentences and so on. This is the process through which you go and this is the process through which you learn English language. Similarly, in computer also, when you start coding, you need to program your code in such a way that everything is clear to the computer. Okay, because you are coding your computer. Computer don't have its own brain. Okay, whatever you are coding it will execute it. Therefore, this 20 is what? You need to specify this to your computer. Now, here comes the data types into picture. Data types are like integer or float, character, double, long double, short int, long int, etc. These are some of the data types. Now, my 20 is what? My 20 is integer. So specifically, I have to write it as int age is equal to 20 and then semicolon. Don't forget to add semicolon because it acts as a full stop in C programming language. So this is a proper statement and this is a statement which your C programming will execute without having any error. So these data types are divided into 4 types, that is primitive, derived, enumeration and void data types. These int, float, double, short, these are my primitive data types. These are the data types which we use frequently in every code. Derived data types are arrays, pointers, structures, etc. These are the derived data types from the parent data types. And then enumeration data types are enum. Then void data type is void, which we use, void main. That is void. So this was the concept of your data types. Now these data types also have a memory allocated in the memory management, in your computer memory. So if you consider, if you have a architecture of 32-bit, if you have your computer configuration as 32-bit, then there int consists of 2 byte, char consists of 1 byte, float consists of 4 byte, whereas double consists of 8 byte. This is the fixed memory which are allocated to these data types. it will have this storage. It already has this much storage in our memory. So this was the whole concept of your data type. Now here comes the concept of variables. What are variables? Now previously I have given you the example, that is int age is equal to 20. Now this age, what is this age? This age is nothing but a variable. Variable is a name which we specify to the memory location. Now let's say, for example, I have specified int age is equal to 20. Now this int variable will store somewhere in the memory management, right? So there I have to have a name over there. Say for example, you have your name, okay? Just having my name, but only having my name is not sufficient. I need to have my identity proof, right? Like in India, my identity proof is, let's say, Aadhaar card. Wherever you want to have your identity verification, there you have to show your Aadhaar card. Just saying your name doesn't mean anything, right? Similarly, these int data types, the data types are also must have a name over the memory location. Then and then only you can use these variables time to time in your program, right? So let's consider I have this 20. Now what will I do? This 20 in this is my, let's consider this is my memory management, right? So in one block I have written 20. I have given 20 over there. So I have to name this 20. This 20 is what? It is an integer, that's for sure. We have seen the data type. But I have to name that. Let's say, for example, age. That is age. So now what it has become, that 20 is assigned, but it is assigned under the name of age. Similarly, if I want to take another variable, let's say b. So I have assigned the value to b, for example 10. Okay. So whenever I want to use 10 in my coding, directly I have to call b over there. So what the program will do, it will search to the memory, okay, and the moment it got b, it will take the value from there and will include it in your program. So this is why we use variables. So now you have got variables. What do you mean by variables? Variables are nothing but the name which we use to specify the memory in the memory allocation. Okay. Now, after variables, there is a concept of keywords. In programming languages, like we have seen header files, right? stdio.h, there we have seen printf and scanf function are stored in stdio.h, right? Similarly, there are predefined keywords also. For example, if, enum, while, do, etc. These are my keywords. There are total 32 keywords in my computer language. So these keywords are what? These keywords are reserved words which are already reserved in my backend file, which I can use anytime in my program without defining it. Okay. So these preserved languages what? Now see, you have taken age, you have to define it. What is age? Age is int data type and the value assigned to it is 20, right? But in keywords case, you don't need to define it anywhere. It is already defined at the backend file. You just need to call it in your program wherever you need to use it. So these are called my keywords. Now let's see what are identifiers. We have learned about keywords. Now let's see what are identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but the unique name which the users will give it. They are the user defined words. Okay. Now the basic difference between keywords and identifiers are, keywords are the already they are programmed, they are already there in the file system of the compiler. You just have to call it. Whenever you are using the keywords, you just have to call it in your code, and it will get the job done. But in the identifiers, these identifiers are the user defined words. So whenever you are creating an identifier, firstly you have to call it. Okay, you have to call it, and then only you can use it in your code. So this was the basic difference between keywords and identifiers. Now, identifiers are the names which we give to functions, pointers, arrays, etc. These are the concepts which we will learn later on in the session. But identifiers are the names of this. Okay. Now, second condition of identifiers are it should be unique. Every identifier which you are going to use in your code, it should be unique. Why? Because you are going to use this identifiers in your program while execution. Okay. Now, let's say for example, this is my one person, that is, let's say Ram, and this is my person 2. Again, his name is Ram. I have 2 Ram over here. Now let's say I want to call one of that person. But how will I call them? By their names. But their names are seen, that is Ram. So how will that person whom I am calling will get to understand that I am calling him? It will create a confusion, right? So here what will I do? I will call them through their surnames, because their surnames are different. So their surnames are unique between these two persons. Their surnames are unique, and hence now it will be easy to call them, right? Similarly, in identifier also you have to have a unique name, so that without any confusion you can call it whenever you want to call it in the whole program while execution. So this was the meaning of identifier. Okay. Now there is again a concept of constants in C programming. Now what is this constant? In maths also you have a concept of constants. For example, let's say pi. Now this pi is constant, whether it is India, America, all over the globe. This pi value, that is 3.14, is constant, right? Similarly, in coding, in C programming also, this pi value must be constant. Okay, and this pi value is stored, so you can directly call this pi value and directly add it in your coding system, in your program. Now if you want to change, you cannot change this pi value, right? Because this pi value is constant in your programming language, and if you try to change this constant value, you will get an error while execution. So this was the basic definition of constant. Okay.
For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.